Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, I would like to talk to you guys real quick about Tamar Braxton and Miss K Michelle because it seems like they might be back at it again. Possibly, possibly not. Y'all know how Tamar likes to say that she wasn't really talking about a person or anything like that. She'll throw shade and then she'll kind of hide a little bit, like, oh, well, that wasn't about you, Let's get into it because I would love to hear what you guys have to say and who you think that K Michelle was directing things at. Okay. So, first of all, she ends up doing this sit down interview with this podcast, and they pretty much talked to her about Cowboy Carter, which is Beyonce's new quote unquote country album. All right. So she pretty much brings up different black artists. She gives her thoughts about things. And K Michelle did not come up in the conversation as one of the people that she think is doing a great job or anything like that. And we know that because of their past history. Why would she really bring up K Michelle? But a lot of people started to insinuate with some of the slick stuff that Tamar was saying. They believe that she was likely aiming it at Miss K Michelle. So let us go ahead and check out exactly what it is Miss Tamar had to say, child. Let's get into it.
So Tamar, Cowboy Carter came out some weeks back, Beyonce's new album. What do you think about her moving the country?
I knew you guys were going to ask me about that.
Did you?
I did. I think that Black country is so necessary. I'm so happy
I agree.
that people with talent who can actually sing country music that are Black people are finally getting the recognition they
Agreed.
deserve. That's what I think.
And she's a Texas girl. She's country.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just really appreciate Beyonce for opening the door for all the other Black artists that has, rode that wave behind the floodgates.
Yeah.
I'm just really appreciative for her.
Agreed.
That's awesome.
These people can really sing. They're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
talented.
Yeah.
What's that one Black guy who could sing? Like he sings so low.
Tony
Evans Jr.
He was on the show.
Yeah.
Man, I really appreciate his artistry, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'd be good. He'd be happy to hear that.
It's true.
Yeah.
I started following him because just to hear him sing, that thing is sing.
Yeah.
It's also another Black. It's like two Black girls I like. One little brown skinned little girl.
That's Tanner, right?
That's her real name, Tanner.
I think so. But
Right.
we'll keep going.
And then there's another girl who kind of looked like the Beyonce campaign.
I know
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
can't remember her name, but yeah.
She's talented too.
We'll figure it out.
But I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
like it because it was a couple of people who should not have been singing country Black music that was awful. And it was concerning for me.
Care to mention a few?
No, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny. It just didn't sound good.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure if you're going to step into a new genre of music and represent us, that you gotta represent.
That'd be right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it got to be right.
So that's real interesting. You guys just heard what Tamar had to say. And it's the ending part for me that would lead me to possibly believe that she is talking about K Michelle. And that is when she pretty much says, when you step into a new genre of music, right? That sounds like a person going from old music to new music. And maybe a lot of us could possibly not be privy to artists that are going from R&B or whatever sector they're in to countries that are Black. So it could have been a wide range of people. But I do see why a lot of the supporters were like, ooh, girl, is that shade to Miss K Michelle? I'm gonna play that ending part one more time for us to get into.
No, but you know what I mean. I'm not trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny. It just didn't sound good.
Yeah.
And you got to make sure if you're going to step into a new genre of music and represent us, that you gotta represent.
That'd be right.
Mhm.
Yeah, got to be right.
All right. So y'all just heard that when you step into a new genre of music, you to represent us, you got to represent us. You got to be right. Okay. So this is what she's saying. So it caused a lot of people to, start adding Tamar and just being very vocal and feeling as though she's being a hater and she's trying to call out Miss K Michelle. Right. Well, K Michelle did not appreciate this at all, which is the reason why she decided to go ahead and chime into the conversation to clear things up real quick. Now, there were a series of tweets before she put this one up where she referred to somebody being a leprechaun in her DMs and different stuff like that. I think she mentioned somebody being a loud hyena. all of that. So this, when she put the Muppet post up, this was very clear that she was talking about K Michelle, because she's referred to her as a Muppet baby in the past. So much so that K Michelle got very emotional. I'm sorry, Tamar Braxton got very emotional about it. And she asked her at the time, the real castmates, she asked them, hey, do I look like a Muppet to y'all? And it really hurt her feelings. She was really emotional about it. So this is K Michelle taking yet another jab at her using the Muppet face. She says, how many times are you going to keep calling for something you can't handle upon its arrival? Huh, Janice? Is what she's saying. Okay. So there's that. So this is what K Michelle put out. And she also went on to put more of she also went on to put more tweets out. Okay. Now I want to get into more of what she says. She says, and now I'm going back into my place of slumber, peace, and positivity. I have some goals to accomplish, and I'm grateful for every blessing I'm receiving. I could go there, but I'm not going back to minding my, she says, but I'm going back to minding my business and singing these songs. Okay. So we all know that K Michelle could definitely go there with Miss Braxton. I'm glad that she is going to take the higher road on this one and just mind her business. Sometimes when not K Michelle, sometimes when Tamar does things, I don't know if she be always doing this for attention or what she be trying to get off, or if she just be saying what's honestly on her mind and she just expects nobody to say anything back about it. Like what's really what. Okay, I'm not sure, but that's just what she do, child. K Michelle also let us know that she has grown. She says, I've healed, but I'm not weak. Leave me alone. I'll turn the other cheek, but I'll slap you first. Understand that. All right. So they have had a beef for years. Years. I can't say, because here's the thing. I can't say that I can't say that Tamar was not talking about K Michelle, right? But something else that um is interesting me is, could she possibly have been talking about Beyonce herself? Because I feel like they asked her what did she think about Beyonce, and what she stated was she just appreciates her. I don't think she said that she was enjoying the music, she liked the music, or what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? So now I want to play that clip just again so we can get the beginning part of what they asked her, right? So let's do that.
Some weeks back, Beyonce's new album. What do you think about her moving the country?
You know, I knew you guys were going to ask me about that.
Did you?
I did. I think that Black country is so necessary. I'm so
I
happy
agree.
that people with talent who can actually sing country music that are Black people are finally getting the recognition they
Agreed.
deserve.
Oh,
what I think.
baby.
She's-
I'm sorry. This is giving a little bit of shade to Beyonce, y'all. Am I tripping? Because they asked her a question about what she thought of Beyonce entering into country music, and she really didn't say much about what she thinks Beyonce moving into country. What she said was she appreciate, or she really likes the people with talent. She put emphasis on talent and that can sing country Black music. She was happy about that. But as far as what she thought of Beyonce, I'm not really getting that.
And she's a Texas girl. She's country.
Yeah. And you know, I don't know. I just really appreciate Beyonce for opening the door for all the other Black artists that has, rode that wave behind the floodgates.
Yeah.
I'm just really appreciative for her.
Agreed.
That's awesome.
These people can really sing. They're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
talented.
Okay, so let me pause. So I'm feeling two ways there. One, I feel like this definitely is giving shade to, probably it could be both of them, honestly, but it is definitely leaning more towards K Michelle, because when you put emphasis on that talented, it's like people with talent that can actually sing country music. It is giving a little bit of shade, possibly, to K Michelle, because you're trying to allude that she ain't got no talent. And at the very end of the interview, or this interview clip where you say that, stepping into another genre. Now, Beyonce and K Michelle are both stepping into another genre. So are you trying to say that Beyonce is not that great of an artist, but because she has the fandom, everything she does is going to go like Taylor Swift? Is that what you're trying to say? Or were you throwing shade directly at Miss K Michelle? So that's interesting. Y'all have to definitely let me know your thoughts down below, because as I'm hearing this for the first time, it's kind of leaning towards she could be shading Beyonce because she didn't truly give her thoughts on Beyonce in the country album. All she said was that she appreciated Beyonce opening the door for the other country artists. Therefore, meaning using your celebrity to open up the door for them, because they're talented and you just got the fans to do so, to just, they're gonna go wherever you go. So y'all let me know if y'all catch that, if you got the same reaction from that.
Yeah.
What's that one black guy who could say?
Okay, so let's go ahead and get into more. All right, let's go ahead and hop over into more. So of course, y'all know K Michelle gave her thoughts. Okay, she said she was going back to her place of slumber, peace, and positivity. She says she has some goals to accomplish, and she's grateful for every blessing that she's receiving. She said she could go there, but she gonna go back to minding her business and singing these songs, and that's just on P. Okay, so that is what was said. I see somebody at the bottom commenting saying, girl, she never said your name. You should have been minding your business. She said she wasn't even talking about you. Move on, girl. You done got your fans hype you up. And you probably didn't even watch the interview. Well, number one, that's true. She definitely didn't watch the interview. If it's a person you don't like, why would you sit up there and watch the interview? Two, if the clips are swarming around and you're having a lot of your fans at you and include you in on the conversation, I can kind of see, and knowing the history you have with that person, I can kind of see why you would think that she was shading you, K Michelle. I can see that because just listening to it for the very first time, I feel like she was talking about you. 1000% feel like she was talking about you. It just only made sense to me. As she's mentioning these country artists, people that can sing, you're going to step into the genre. We all know K Michelle is new stepping into the country genre that she's wanted to be in for a very long time. So I could see that. And playing it a second time, I'm starting to see what she could possibly be talking about K Michelle. Right. So to this person, she was minding her business. Other people started pulling her into the tea. Okay. So she felt the need to respond. And that is exactly what she did. Now, you, however, could have minded yours too by not even getting up under that lady tweets. But girl, that's for another day. So let's go ahead and let's keep going, because there is more that Tamar had to say about this particular situation regarding she and between she and Miss K Michelle. Okay, so after K Michelle gave a series of tweets, of course, Miss Tamar came out and she had some things to say, and this is what she said.
Call me a Muppet. You think you chew me up when you call me a Muppet? You want to know the real story behind that? Story time. Shade Room edition. The person had called me that never saw me before. I'm sorry. I'm just saying this because that person really thought they ate calling me a Muppet. But the person who had called me that had never saw me before. And when they called me that, they had everybody, calling me, I'm Muppet, like a Muppet, Miss Piggy. And when I met that person, I swear to God, you can ask Auntie Patty that because she was right there. Now, the only reason why they had met me because my Auntie Patty had called me and told me, I don't think they knew that, Patty is like my aunt, like in real life. Like I met her, like the first time our families
Let's keep going.
met was like, maybe, how was I, mommy? Like 11, 12 years old. Yeah. So it's like a long time. I'm 46. So if you can imagine, like, that's my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Zori's like my cousin. I just went to his 50th birthday party, like my real auntie. So the woman of the world come up to me and she go, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." And I look, and it took, I ain't even gonna hold y'all. It took everything.
All right. So y'all just saw Tamar sitting over there talking about pretty much not a damn thing, just trying to highlight the fact that Miss K Michelle pretty much approached her at one point and told her how beautiful she felt she looked or whatever. The person had never met her before, calling her a Muppet. And then once they met her, was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." Now, first of all, it could have been a Jack Daniels speaking, and K Michelle could have just been being nice in that moment. Okay. If you've watched Love and Hip Hop, you know one thing about it. K Michelle may be on this side of the coin. Earlier that day, by the end of the day, she on the whole other side of the coin. So it is what it is. She probably was just feeling really good in that moment. Okay. And to, some people, they might say that, hey, two things can be true. You can be very beautiful and still look like a Muppet. So I'm just going to let y'all have that part of the conversation and let y'all go in as you all prefer. Okay. I do want to go ahead and get into more. Okay. As there was more that Miss K Michelle went on to say. So this is what else K Michelle had to say. And this was actually under the comments of another blog post where K Michelle says, "Y'all know I wouldn't be saying anything. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's been going on for months now. Well, years. She's just very hurt acting out." She says, "It has to stop today. I don't speak on her, about her. We just aren't in the same circle. I don't think of her. She continues to bring me up in some way, throw her shade, then play victim." This is what I do believe, because one thing about Tamar, it's hard for her to let go of stuff. Like, she still holds on to stuff, which is so interesting because of the beef she had with Candy. You had whatever kind of beef with Candy, you want to call Candy out, talk about Candy, whatever it was. But didn't Candy have you on her tour at one point with Escape? Weren't you on that tour at one point? So how did the fallout happen? And then now all of a sudden you want to say she can't sing and you want to say all of this stuff about the lady. How did you see? So you could remember, I guess, when a person crossed you, but you can't remember anything. If they did do anything for you, you can't remember that. But anywho, all in all, I'm just adding to the point of what K Michelle is saying. She continues to bring me up in some way, throw her shade, then play victim. So with that being said, I do believe it. I do believe that, Tamar does that often. When she don't like a person, I do believe that. So then K Michelle says, "I'm just not going to keep playing with her. It's played out, but she will stop. I can overlook negativity all day, but don't keep poking at me even at shows. I know everything you do and the fits you throw when I'm performing or asked. Everything. I don't say a word. I be quiet and sing." I believe that too. The reason why I also believe that is because when Jesse Wu and Tamar were having their speak and spec, their beef or whatever like that, Tamar went the extra mile to do extra stuff that I got a chance to watch Jesse Wu mention in different videos throughout the year, because I've been tuned into, shout out to Jesse Wu. I've been tuned into her content a lot, and she'll reference something back at the job and you know that she's talking about K Michelle. So I'm sorry, she's talking about Tamar. So Tamar has since done little things. So that's what Tamar does when she, just like when the Candy and the situation happened last summer, how she drug it out. Like, this is what Tamar does. So y'all can be fans of Tamar and be team Tamar all day. I know I don't dislike Tamar. I do think sometimes Tamar can do too much, as anybody else can, but I know I enjoy her music. Okay. I don't fully dislike her personality or anything like that. But if y'all want to be fans or stands, whatever, y'all can also highlight when a person is doing, you know what I'm saying? When that's how they is. You can also call them out accordingly. And I have to call her out because that is exactly what she does. And history has already shown that in recent months and years. So anywho, K Michelle goes on to say, I don't say a word, I be quiet and sing. There's no reason for you to continue subs and jabs. It's like you have to be seen, even if it's shading and negativity. Bitter Betty, live in your talent, not in your drama. And this is crazy for you to have K Michelle, who has been a basket case for years before finally calming down. You have K Michelle telling you to live in your talent and not in your drama. Girl, that's not you let K Michelle arrive to maturity before you do. That's interesting, honey. Okay. So then she goes on to say, the lesson I had to learn and work, and it worked out for me. I have a right to defend and be sick of your SHI. I finally say in front of everyone, leave me alone or else. I stand on that. You should try it. You're 9 whole years older than me. You should set an example of some sort. Now go play in traffic. Well, really, she said go play in traffic. Or she said, not go play victim. Okay. That's what she's saying. Go play victim as though you didn't do anything, as if you never said anything, and all of that. Okay. And I know that Tamar actually got onto her page, and she pretty much wanted to let K Michelle know, like, girl, I wasn't even talking about you. So she says, okay. So we definitely got to check out what she says here. Okay. Tamar says, I wasn't speaking about you. I would have said your name. I was speaking of country, quote unquote, black music that I have heard before that I didn't enjoy. I wish you the best on all your future endeavors. I only want to beef with the devil. The end. Okay. So this was a repost of what Tamar made to Miss K Michelle. And that's just pretty much what she had to say. Now, there was more that she said. Somebody had added her and says Tamar Braxton's not talking about K Michelle. She says we would have been down that road before. She says we've been down that road before, and I'm sure neither wants to revisit that. So then Tamar responds and said, I absolutely was not. I said a few artists. I paid homage to Beyonce for bringing positive attention to country music. Yeah, even with that, that was a bit shady though. She says there are people who I don't address and I don't mention slash shade to keep mess away. Where was all this chatter when my song went #1? I mind my business and go to work. Girl, that all when it comes to all of the chatter, when it comes to all of the chatter, that is for your fans. Okay. That's for the fans. That's on them. Y'all should have been creating these think pieces and whatever else to force this woman's song or the conversation to be about her going #1 and keeping her as #1 for at least a week, a few weeks or whatever the case is. Okay. So that's definitely on the fans there. But understand that K Michelle did not stop there. She actually went on to talk about more. And when she did this, she actually ends up bringing up Candy Burress' name. Okay, and this is me. I am definitely the Nicki Minaj meme here, where I'm trying to do the calculations and make it make sense because it's not adding up. Like, girl, are you sure? But anyway, she brings up Candy Burress in this next video that we're about to get into. In addition to that, she also says that if she was gonna say somebody's name, she'll say their name because ain't nobody finna do a motherfucking thing to her. So let's go ahead and check
Talk
this
about
out.
somebody, I will say their name. Like nobody gonna do not one thing to me, can't do anything to me. So if I'm talking about somebody in particular, I just call it out like I did with Candy. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say somebody said Candy said that I said it, took shit back. I said no. Her husband did what he did to me. Both of them actually, and she can't sing. I said that. So why now do I need to backpedal and all of this victims? I'm not no fucking victim. I'm a fucking survivor. You know what the fuck I've been through, what I built. What? If I was talking about somebody, I will say their name. Like nobody gonna do not one thing to me. Can't do. No, Candy didn't catch it straight. What I'm saying is, when I'm specifically talking to somebody, I don't have a problem saying their name because I'm not no punk ass bitch. I say what the fuck I want. Just like everybody say what they want to say, who they address and what they address. I do the same thing. I'm not a child. You know what I mean? I am not scared. Like if I said it about somebody, I would have said it.
and say their name, because what are you going to do to me? Nothing. Not nothing. You know, and I don't fight, I don't do violence, I don't do none of that. You know what I mean? But my whole point of the matter is like, if I'm talking to specifically about somebody, I would say their name. And so where are we getting this from? You know, rocks. What they say? I throw rocks and hide my hand. I say what it is. when do I stop? And who started that? Who started that? That's dumb. I said what I said. When I said it's not changing, it's not changing. You know, rocks.
All right, so y'all just heard what Tamar said, and here's more. She says, I was threatened by a peach and a man. I do believe that this is actually from when she got into it with Candy. She says, I feel like if I did what they did, they would have told the world. She says, shall we play a guessing game? It's beef, and it's a real beef because your husband stepped to me, period. Merry Christmas. Okay. So this was back when she was beefing with Miss Candy Burress. Okay. Why she felt the need to bring up Candy? Maybe because that's the more recent event that everybody would remember. And she actually named a name that time, right? Or at least she played the guessing game, actually, and other people had to figure it out. Okay. That's really what it was given. And then she came out and said what it was. But while she's mentioning Miss Candy Burress, Candy is actually over here celebrating the fact that she's nominated for an Emmy, child.
So, 2024 Southeast Emmy Awards official nomination results. Bam! You see that? Candy Burress. I'm nominated, guys. Emmy nomination for this year, 2024. Yes, I'm super excited. In the Spanish documentary category, I'm a producer, so yes, I was a producer. The girl is still going after her dreams and goals, okay? Going after the dreams and going after the goals. And I just ask y'all, pray for your sister, okay? Pray for your sister that I make it and that it works out and that I'm able to accomplish my dreams, okay? I just want to say thank you. Thank you, God, for even being nominated. Love y'all. Mwah.
All right. Congratulations to Miss Candy Burress, honey. Congratulations to her. Now listen, while Miss Tamar is over there speaking on Candy, Candy is over there celebrating. But I do want to get into a few of the comments that I did see over on the neighborhood talk. Actually, there was a post that was made. There was a I want to get into more from what we could see. There was a post that was made over on the neighborhood talk that I actually want to get into, because one of the guys that was actually in that podcast with Miss Tamar, honey, he came out and he had some things to say, and he says this for starters. He says, for the record, Tamar didn't mention K Michelle's name in the interview or off camera. The media and the fans got to stop putting words in people's mouth. There are a number of Black artists trying to cross into country. I can name a few that should go a different direction. Much love to Tamar Braxton and K Michelle. And K Michelle. Both ladies are extremely talented, and we got love for them at We Sound Crazy. So that's what he says, right? I'm sure that's his way of, buttering up to Miss K Michelle and hopefully getting her onto their show for a interview to come up. Now, that wasn't the only thing. He did get down into the comments. And once he got down into the comments, this is what he said. He said, it's truth. We talked about it after the taping. K Michelle has been on the show. Okay, so she's already been on the show and she's their friend. He says, plus my co-host created her quote unquote Tennessee single. If we thought there was shade towards K Michelle, we would have edited out the episode. All right. And I also feel like this was a way for him to promote the episode for people to, go and listen to it, which I'm not really opposed to. Because I feel like sometimes, we do see these clips and then we take these clips out of order or whatever the case is. And we just, magnify it instead of kind of like watching the entire interview or the entire video and make it make sense for us. You know, some clips stand alone and they don't need for no sense to be made on them because we already know what was really going on, right? But you know, sometimes watching the full thing could help. Now, in terms of K Michelle, this clip in my personal was a standalone clip. I don't know if watching the full conversation or watching the full interview would change that, honestly, for a lot of people. This standalone clip was giving a bit of shade. It was, and it was, I mean, and it was intentional shade, duh. But the question is, who was the shade towards? Was it towards K Michelle, or could it be towards Beyonce just a bit? Because she didn't really say, "Oh, most people are like, "Oh, I listened to the Cowboy Carter album. I absolutely loved it. I think this is phenomenal." For her to go over into this genre and try something new, that's a badass. She didn't say that. She just said she appreciate her opening the doors up for other people, and that was it. I was expecting a bit more, but y'all let me know your thoughts about it. There are more comments. Someone else says, the truth is, at K Michelle, Ben had things she wanted to get off her chest to Tamar publicly and chose this opportunity to do it. You allow social media to amp you up and create issues that weren't even there. If Nikki said a couple of people messed up the rap genre, which she has, no one would make it this big of an issue or say anything. That's a lie. Okay. I'm telling you, that's a lie. There's plenty of Black artists who tried to cross to country. Monica, I didn't know anything about that. Candy, I don't recall that. T-Pain is already kind of there. I think he's wrote country songs. And T-Pain would definitely, in my opinion, do very well over there in country. Lil Nas crossover. What the fuck do you mean crossover when he was already technically in the country, in a sense, with the first rodeo song, I thought, but I could be wrong. Nelly already did his thing. What do you mean crossover? Nelly's already done his songs and partner with other country artists. Why specify K Michelle? Y'all instigated this drama. Now that I agree with you on. I agree with the people did instigate the drama. But what I also don't agree with is you saying that K Michelle been wanting to get things off her chest. For you to say that, you must not know K Michelle. K Michelle she never has to wait on a moment, in my personal, for her to address a bitch. Always know and always understand that. If she got some she want to say, she's gonna say it. But if she's at this higher road and she feel like I ain't even gonna trip off of it, like it is what it is, cool. In addition to that, you must not know how K Michelle drags. You must not know how she drags, because what she gave to Tamar baby was giving every bit of light work. Just light work. Okay. So anywho, child, I'll let y'all dissect this comment as you choose, and I'll let you eat it up or agree with whatever you want. Okay. Now let's get into one more comment before we get out of here. This person says, honestly, the way I perceived it, she was actually shading Beyonce. It seemed more like a backhand compliment, thanking her for ushering in real Black country singers that know how to fill those shoes, but was too shady and shook to go direct at the hive. That's exactly what I saw. When I listen to it the second time, I see where this person is coming from. I truly do. Because I'm like, is that shade? Because you really ain't talking about the album or her or nothing. Like, you really over here talking about other artists and stuff. I knew you guys were going to ask me this question. And one thing about Tamar Braxton, she could sing. I love her voice, but she can also be a hater. A hater as fuck. Like, let's be very honest. And there are people that are extremely talented that are haters of others. Okay. So yeah, for sure. She goes on to say K Michelle wasn't the intended target. By the way, Cowboy Carter is a masterpiece. Take notes, is what the person is saying. All right. So girl, that's just real messy. That's real interesting right there. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna let y'all make y'all determination, y'all decision. Please leave it down below in the comments on whether you felt like Tamar Braxton didn't say a name. So with her saying a name, nobody should have made it a big deal, and K Michelle should have never responded. Or do you feel like listening to the interview, you felt like she was indeed talking about K. Michelle? Or listening to the interview, do you think Tamar could have possibly been shading Beyonce and giving a backhanded compliment, which is what I started to lean towards myself? So y'all let me know your thoughts and comments about everything that we just discussed on this quick chat, honey. I am Jami, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, please. Follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JamiThatsMe, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mile. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but you run no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad one.